to Capital TV News. I'm Yana Misheri, and these are the stories making headlines. The county of Nairobi is urging residents to prepare themselves for the El Nino rains that are expected next month. Transport County Executive Mohammed Abdullahi says most parts of the county will be heavily affected by the flash floods. He has told Capital TV News that the county has embarked on mitigating interventions, but they may not prevent destruction and inconveniences that come with such heavy rains. The Nairobi Transport CEC therefore advised those in flood high-risk areas to relocate for the period of the rains.
To ensure we at least try to mitigate the effects, because this is a natural phenomenon. There's what we can do, and there's what basically we probably, because being a natural phenomenon, nature takes its course. What we are focusing on is the flood hotspots. But there are places that probably that has not been picked by our radar, that residents know of. We are asking them to come forward and share those with us. We'll try and see what we can do. So right now, I think it's just also urge residents to be responsible in the way they dispose of their solid waste.
The government insists that national examinations will not be rescheduled despite the ongoing teachers' strike. Education Cabinet Secretary Jacob Kaimenyi says the Kenya National Examination Council will release the national examination timetable shortly to enable the candidates focus more on the final preparations. The Kenya National Parents Association has called for the postponement of the exams.
The government, once again, wishes to assure parents and learners that measures have been put in place to secure the learners, the staff, and property of our education institutions.
4 police officers were charged in Mombasa on Tuesday for allegedly setting a drug trafficker free for a bribe. Justice Sangelo, Ahmed Shaban, David Koske, and Joseph Minor were charged with aid in the escape of Richard Washira, who was under their custody at Mukupa Police Station. They pleaded not guilty before senior resident magistrate Irene Ruguru and were released on a 20,000 shilling cash bail. The case is set to be heard on December 8th. Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero has announced plans to set key streets in Nairobi into one-way as part of measures to end traffic jams. They include Moi Avenue, Koinange Street, Kimathi Street, Tom Mboya and Kirinyaga Road, which will become one-way streets within 3 months.
The preliminary studies have shown that removal of roundabouts increased the traffic flow by 30%. And we just don't want to limit it to removal of roundabouts. We want to include the conversion of streets to one-way system, where Moi Avenue will be one-way, Koinange Street will be one-way, the Kenyatta Avenue obviously is divided, Kimathi Street will be one-way, Tom Mboya Street will be one-way, River Road will be one-way, Kirinyaga Road, and this will facilitate. And you've seen where we've closed roundabouts, the traffic flow is much better. Take, for example, in Westlands and the Tom Mboya Nation House roundabout. Within the next 3 to 4 months.
The new European Union ambassador to Kenya presented his credentials to President Uhuru Kenyatta on Tuesday. Stefano Antonio Dijak promised to be the bridge between Kenya and the 28 EU member states. Dijak said the EU, which is the biggest market for Kenyan exports, will continue to work with the country's leadership in addressing security challenges posed by terrorism threats. Now in business, Google, in partnership with Save, has launched Google Street View in Samburu. This is in a bid to create awareness and applaud efforts geared towards the conservation of elephants in Kenya. The newly launched Google Maps feature that enables users to explore places around the world through a 360 panoramic and street-level imagery will now feature the Samburu National Reserve, Lewa Wildlife Conservancy and the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, as well as Save the Elephants. And finally, in sports, Wednesday's Sports Pesa midweek clash between Gor Mahia and Sony Sugar has been moved to Nairobi's Nyayo National Stadium. It will be played under floodlights in a 7 p.m. kickoff. This is to give opportunity to thousands of working Green Army supporters to fill the stadium for a match where a point will be good enough for Gor to be confirmed title winners for a 3rd time in a row. Kogalo were earlier scheduled to host the Awendo-based Millers at a nearby city stadium in the afternoon, But the shift in the match venue also saw a change in the kickoff time for the match that will be televised. And that's your Capital TV Online News. For more on these and other stories, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Capital FM Kenya. I've been your host, Miano Mishiri.